It's Saturday, the 14th of June in Washington, and there's a parade in the capital city of the United States.
This is the United States Army's 250th Anniversary Parade.
The new president, Donald Trump, has spared no expense to celebrate this anniversary. He has ordered the first military parade since 1991.
It's a fierce fighting machine. The Bradley accompanies American troops.
The president, alongside his wife Melania, watched the parade for 3 hours. 7,000 soldiers, 150 armored vehicles, even a robot dog.
Latest in Army innovation. Look at this.
There was even a rock concert.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday to the Army. Happy birthday to our President Donald Trump.
In a happy coincidence, Donald Trump was also celebrating his 79th birthday on the 14th of June.
We're the hottest country in the world right now, and our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before.
On behalf of the United States Army, the Army Golden Knights, I would like to present to you this flag.
But despite a budget of $45 million, this parade failed to bring the country together. On the very same day, millions of Americans were rallying together all over the country.
People's rights are under attack. What do we do?
From Atlanta to New York, they took to the streets to denounce the president as an authoritarian.
It doesn't feel like America anymore. It doesn't feel like a free country. We need our country back.
If you wait too long to take steps to defend democracy, it can get past the point of no return. So I think it's very important for us to take these steps while we can.
This day of contrasts exposed the deep divisions which have torn America apart since Donald Trump came to power 5 months ago. Since Trump's return to power, his trademark divisive style has transformed the famous Oval Office into a reality TV studio.
We're making America great again.
The new president puts on a show for the mass of cameras.
I said, I think we should make some of them. Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll
always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the
Would
president.
anybody like buddy?
He welcomes rock stars to the Oval Office.
Would you ever wear a jacket like that?
I don't know. I was thinking about doing it for tomorrow. We have a big event coming up.
He takes his anger out on the press.
You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. And you're a disgrace. No more questions for me. Go ahead.
Donald Trump doesn't concern himself with protocol. He doesn't even hesitate to humiliate foreign heads of state.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
But the president is not just making a spectacle of himself.
We have some executive orders that we're going to be signing right now that are very important.
In just 5 months, he's signed more than 160 executive orders. That's as many as Joe Biden signed in 4 years. And his policies are shaking America to its core. Hundreds of thousands of civil servants have been made redundant overnight.
Inefficient or waste of public resources is deflating.
Constant, unpredictable changes on import tariffs are weakening the country's economy and penalizing thousands of entrepreneurs.
My government should not be my obstacle, and it's very, very frustrating.
But some Americans are protesting against this president and his use of power.
Yeah, I don't like dictators.
There have been riots in Los Angeles in reaction to Trump's brutal immigration policies. Donald Trump, who had promised to end U.S. Army interventions overseas, took everyone by surprise, bombing nuclear facilities in Iran.
Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
We investigate the dramatic start to Trump's second term. The president who is dividing America.
The golden age of America begins right now.
and destabilizing the world order. This is Ormond Beach in North Florida, a small seaside resort beside the Atlantic Ocean. Donald Trump's return brought a smile to one man's face. Joe Biggs is savoring his freedom after several years in prison.
It's like the happiest I am is when I'm out here riding, especially up and down the beach. Being able to see the ocean and feel the breeze, there's nothing freer than that. So for 4 years, I couldn't do anything like that. For 4 years, I was in prison. So, you know, I actually never thought I'd ride another motorcycle again.
Joe Biggs was behind bars up until just a few months ago, serving a 17-year sentence for storming the Capitol on January the 6th, 2021. That day, Joe Biggs invaded the Capitol building along with thousands of other people because they refused to acknowledge Donald Trump's defeat at the hands of Joe Biden. Four years later, immediately after his inauguration, the new president announced that he would pardon all the rioters, whom he described as hostages.
These are the hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon. Yes. Full pardon. We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly.
It's a highly controversial decision. Joe Biggs is a leader within the far-right group, the Proud Boys, and was found guilty of trying to overthrow the elected government.
I'm a Western chauvinist. I'm a Western chauvinist! I refuse to apologize. I refuse to apologize!
The Proud Boys are known for violent clashes on the edges of protest marches. They claim to uphold the superiority of the American people. It's an ideology which Joe proudly displays on his own body.
That's better? I can go back further.
That's fine.
Today he's getting a tattoo of Thor's hammer, a god from Norse mythology.
I think it needs to come this way more. Patriotism, love of country, believing that Western civilization is the greatest. You know, it is. We all have toilets that flush and we don't live in fucking mud huts and dance around butt-ass naked with paint on our face. I think we're doing pretty good.
He has a message for those who convicted him.
When I was in prison, I got terrorist tattooed right here across my chest. More of a you to the government.
There it is.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Oh, man.
Since his release, Joe Biggs has become a hero to Trump supporters. Tonight, he's invited to a bar on the other side of the country in South Los Angeles.
Come on, homie.
He's here to tell his story. Proud Boys activists are here to support him. They even organized a lottery to raise money.
Yeah, your boy, Joe. We love this guy.
It's cool to see people willing to do something like this for me. Makes me feel loved and cared about. Mellis.
John Mellis also spent a year in prison for invading the Capitol.
Being a Proud Boy means so much to me because it is my middle finger to the system. At the lowest point I have when you got me up in solitary and you want me to tap out and say Trump did it, it's his fault, and you'll let me go. But I say you.
Everyone here is totally galvanized by the election of Donald Trump to the White House.
Every time we get together, it's always a good time. Because why? Because we're celebrating the greatest president ever.
One activist after another takes to the stage. Their political stand-up comedy promotes Trumpian ideas. They're protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution, which guarantees almost total freedom of expression. So the comedians can joke about anything, even when it's deeply offensive.
Like, there's too many interracial couples in commercials. And I'm like, who cares? Like, what do I care if there's interracial couples in commercials? Although I even saw a Tide commercial with an interracial couple. Like, you think there's one brand that would want to keep the whites separate?
Here, I try and be as politically incorrect as possible because I believe that political correctness has been wrecking this country for the last decade or so. Do you agree? I said you agree. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biggs.
Joe is the big star of the show today. The militiaman tells the crowd about his entry into the Capitol on the 6th of January 2021.
And there's a police officer sitting there going like this, inside the Capitol waving. One of the officers is sitting here like this with his arms crossed. He's leaning against a pole. And he goes, "Hey, man, what do you want to do?" And I go, "I got to go take a real quick." And he goes, "Here, I'll take you over there real quick," and shows me where the bathroom is. And I go use the bathroom, and I leave, and I get 17 years for that. That somehow
it's a completely false version of events.
Conspiracy.
Joe Biggs doesn't seem to be looking for a bathroom in this footage. He seems to be enjoying himself, part of the crowd.
So we just stormed the Capitol, took the place back.
Cowboys are here. We're safe. And I just want to thank you so much.
To this day, Joe Biggs refuses to accept that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Despite the total absence of evidence, he insists on the lie that the Democrats stole the election.
The Democrats are an organism, and they want to stay in power and be the dominant force no matter what, you know? So they'll still cheat, kill, to do whatever.
Let's give it up for Joe Biggs, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biggs.
Once back in office, Donald Trump didn't just pardon the Capitol rioters, he decided to take revenge, targeting those who investigated the attack on the Capitol. Like Sean Brennan, a deputy federal prosecutor who led the investigation. On the 31st of January, he received a termination letter from the Department of Justice.
One of the things that was, in many ways, really surprising about it was just how straightforward it was about stating outright that we were fired basically in retribution for our work on these cases. I was told in this letter that my hiring for that position has hindered the ability of acting U.S. Attorney Martin to staff his office in furtherance of his obligation to faithfully implement the agenda of President Trump.
Sean Brennan sees this as an attack which strikes at the very heart of judicial independence.
You are there for the people of the United States and the interest of justice, and any administration that wants to pervert that and make the Department of Justice simply the enforcement arm of an individual president, that's a real loss for the American people as a whole.
Anthony Bélanger, a journalist specializing in the United States, has been covering Donald Trump since he entered politics.
Donald Trump est un animal blessé, c'est les plus dangereux. Du moment où il a quitté la présidence des États-Unis, en 2020, jusqu'au moment où il l'a récupéré, en 2024, il a passé son temps en procès. En reprenant la tête de la Maison-Blanche, il se venge.
But these are people that are bad people, really bad people. They tried to turn America into a corrupt, communist, and third world country. But in the end, the thugs failed and the truth won.
Il utilise aussi ça dans cette rhétorique pour dire, voilà, c'est Joe Biden qui a politisé le ministère de la Justice et moi je veux le purifier de ces éléments gauchistes, radicalisés, etc.
Donald Trump sees some institutions as enemies that need to be fought, and others as unnecessary and needing to be abolished. The president wants to dismantle the federal administration. He hammered this obsession home once again in his speech to Congress.
For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. We are draining the swamp. It's very simple.
Cette métaphore qu'il a utilisée, qu'il faut assécher le marécage, c'est cette vision du tous pourri, et surtout l'État fédéral comme étant déconnecté du réel.
Donald Trump was true to his word. On the 20th of March, a room in the White House was transformed into a classroom. Surrounded by a dozen schoolchildren, Trump announced the dismantling of the Federal Department of Education.
Should I do this?
His decree drastically reduced the department's powers and cut its administrative staff.
Okay.
The next day, in front of the department's offices, federal employees were still in shock.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you a quick question for the French media?
No comment.
We work for the French media.
I got no comment. Thank you.
1,300 people have just lost their jobs.
Can I ask you a quick question? We work for the French media.
It's tough, you know, I mean, these kinds of things happen in the private sector. So to be told that we're sort of inefficient or waste of public resources it's very deflating. Yeah, thank you.
Try your best. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
A wind of panic is blowing through Washington. In just 5 months, almost 260,000 jobs have been cut. Donald Trump has created a brand new department to carry out this purge of federal workers, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Hello, everyone.
Nice meeting you.
And the head of the department is one of Trump's close allies, Elon Musk, the billionaire. He's an avowed libertarian. He's anti-state, just like his friend Javier Milei, the Argentinian president.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Il représente le chef d'entreprise, l'innovateur, la personne qui a réussi dans les affaires et qui donc reprend ici un vieux récit américain qui est que et si seulement on pouvait diriger le pays comme on dirige l'entreprise, le pays irait mieux.
To aid in his mission to cut the state down to size and save $1 trillion, Elon Musk has recruited some very young people from his own companies, like Luke Farita, a former trainee at SpaceX, known for having deciphered a 2,000-year-old Greek parchment using artificial intelligence.
People have wanted to read these books for hundreds of years. This would not be possible without modern AI and modern scanning techniques.
Or 19-year-old Edward Korestein, who briefly worked at Neuralink, one of Elon Musk's startups specializing in neurotechnology. He's best known by his online username, Big Balls, and Jesse Waters from Fox News appears to be highly amused.
Who's Big Balls? It's big.
That should be obvious.
Why do they call you Big Balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
Ce sont des gens très très jeunes, hein, parfois à peine 20 ans, qui sont allés comme ça dans les ministères, qui ont récupéré des données. Alors ça c'est assez inquiétant parce qu'on ne sait pas ce qui s'est passé avec ces données. Ce sont des données sensibles qui peuvent avoir un effet dévastateur si elles sont vendues éventuellement, si elles sont dans la nature.
These young computer prodigies, with no political experience, used the data they recovered to make tens of thousands of civil servants redundant.
What inspired you to drop out of Harvard to do this?
The value of this and the impact here is so much more vast than anything you could learn in a classroom doing computer science.
Today it's about a man named Elon.
But last May, Elon Musk was unceremoniously sacked. He made a big show of promising $2,000 billion in savings, but he only achieved $2 billion, according to an investigation in The Atlantic magazine.
My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. Arrows
It was a short-lived romance between the most powerful man on the planet and the world's richest man.
Elle ne pouvait pas durer longtemps parce qu'en fait, il ne peut pas y avoir deux crocodiles dans le même marigot. Donald Trump a obtenu ce qu'il voulait d'Elon Musk. L'idée, c'est vraiment d'insécuriser les fonctionnaires, de faire en sorte qu'ils obéissent.
Elon Musk s'est beaucoup bataillé avec les membres du cabinet, notamment le ministre des Trésors, qui voyait que Musk faisait des coupes dans leur ministère. Et finalement, Donald Trump a tranché pour ses ministres. Et donc, c'était quand même quelque part un camouflet pour Elon Musk.
A few days after this seemingly amicable separation,
Thank you, Elon. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
the atmosphere suddenly changed, and the two men clashed on social media. Elon Musk began the hostilities, posting on X. Donald Trump swiftly responded. It's another example of the president's reality show style of politics. Donald Trump likes to put on a show, in contrast with the traditional buttoned-down style of previous American presidents. He loves going to MMA fights and dancing on catwalks in his luxurious Mar-a-Lago mansion. He delights in provoking controversy on social media. For instance, he reposted this surreal AI-generated video in which he promised to set up a real estate kingdom in the ruins of the Gaza Strip.
Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
Donald Trump, c'est le président TikTok. Et sur TikTok, excusez-moi, mais on trouve toutes les provocations. Ça ressemble en plus à ce qu'il est. Il veut faire la preuve quotidienne que rien ne l'arrêtera.
Les gens ne prennent pas forcément tous ça au sérieux, mais ils trouvent ça divertissant, drôle, pour une partie. Hein. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont quand même choqués aux États-Unis, bien évidemment. Mais disons, sa base électorale aime ça.
He also circulates AI-generated portraits of himself as a pope, as a muscular Jedi warrior, and even as a king. Indeed, he has transformed the White House into a kind of royal court. Sonia Dredi, a French journalist, has been a White House correspondent for 10 years.
Quand il y a ce Marine, cela veut dire que Donald Trump est dans la West Wing, qu'il est là.
Sonia has witnessed a radical change of mood in the press room. The new administration is openly defiant towards the mainstream media, notably the administration's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. She's quick to rebuke them when she doesn't like their questions.
I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. On the topic of immigration, the Washington Post just ran one of the most ridiculous headlines ever, even by their standards.
And she avoids difficult questions.
And that's a ridiculous line of questioning. John, go ahead.
The Trump administration has accredited new media organizations with questionable backgrounds.
Il y a des influenceurs, des blogueurs, des podcasteurs qui sont clairement des activistes, pour certains des activistes pro-Trump. Et c'est très frappant parce qu'on le voit dans les questions qu'ils posent. Ce sont des questions qui sont là pour servir la soupe finalement à cette administration.
Specifically, obviously, why does the president feel like that's the best location or a good location to make sure that Americans are safe from violent, illegal migrant crime?
Well, it's a really good question.
So I want to talk more about the success that ICE is having, finding these violent criminal aliens, some of the big sexual predators.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting.
Brian Glenn is a rising star among these new courtiers.
Brian Glenn.
Yes. Welcome. You look great. You're doing a great job.
Thank
you talked
you.
about transparency, and some of us in this room know how just transparent President Trump has been.
Brian Glenn is an ardent admirer of President Trump.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
And he makes no secret of it.
This is my second month at the White House. It's great. We support Trump's policies, his America First policies, open about that. We feel like President Trump's America First agenda is the best policies for America. It may not be for the world, but it is for America. It's the center of the world.
Thanks to his loyal support, he was welcomed into the Oval Office. Once inside the inner sanctum of American power, Brian Glenn defied every convention. For instance, last February, during President Zelensky's visit, when Donald Trump humiliated the Ukrainian president,
Your country is in big trouble. Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Words of appreciation.
it was Brian Glenn who delivered the final blow.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do. You own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Brian Glenn hasn't always worn a suit himself. Before reporting on the White House, he worked for local television stations.
Way to go, Brian. Claimed he wouldn't be able to.
And he wasn't known for his political expertise.
It is International Clown Week, and of course, if you've ever dreamed about joining the circus and being a clown, which I might actually do after this career is over here.
Today, Brian Glenn works for Real America's Voice, a conservative and conspiracy theorist channel which relays Trumpian propaganda to its hundreds of thousands of followers online.
This is our big studio here in D.C.
There are no newsrooms of investigative reporters at their headquarters.
Yeah, but like if I was to read it,
This is America's Voice Live.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
I appreciate
And Brian's show, streamed over the internet, doesn't offer any alternative points of view.
All right, welcome to a Friday edition.
All the guests are pro-Trump activists.
I am Brian Glenn.
Brian devotes his 2-hour broadcast to Trump's regular preoccupations.
With the LGBTQ, I call them a mafia, a mob, if you will.
He talks to a critic of the new version of Snow White, who thinks it takes too much of a feminist angle.
They want this thing to be about female empowerment. They made it very clear. Rachel Zegler said this is not going to be about waiting for your prince. A prince is not going to kiss her and wake her up.
Internet news outlets proliferate in the USA. 1 in 4 Americans say they get their news from social media.
No one believes the media anymore. No, that's why they watch us. Because we're not spreading lies. We're actually telling the truth. Sometimes truth hurts.
Brian Glenn is convinced that Donald Trump represents the return of an American golden age.
Donald Trump will go down as a peacemaker, and we'll have safe borders, good economy, world peace, all is good. Okay.
Restoring America's greatness was Trump's big campaign promise. The president is putting his policies into action, including economic policy. Donald Trump plans to reindustrialize the country.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
In Pennsylvania, Donald Trump spoke to steelworkers who were worried about the closure of their factory. He promised them a bright future and a magical supply of money.
There's a lot of money coming your way. It's a lot of money. You're going to say, please, sir, we don't want this kind of success. It's too much, sir. We can't take. Please, we beg you, we don't want this much success. But we do, really, don't we?
It's a populist narrative with a strong appeal in this working-class state. This is Clerton, in the heart of the Rust Belt, in what used to be the industrial center of the United States. Rich Lattanzi is the mayor of this small town with a population of 6,000 people.
Somebody forgot about the middle-class working people that keeps the system going. I'm going to call myself and people that I know the quiet majority. I think that over the last 100 years, we gave away more and more industry. We need to bring some of these products and production back to the back in the United States.
Rich worked in the steelworks for 30 years. It was the lifeblood of the local economy. It employed 40% of the population in the 1970s, but now only 10% still work there.
This building on the left here used to be the Rose Hotel. These are a couple apartment buildings here. They're kind of in bad shape. This was a pizza shop here years ago.
Financial insecurity has surged in Clerton. Nearly 1 in 3 people here live below the poverty line.
Yep. We got some depression going on, so.
Already hit hard by deindustrialization, the people of Clerton are also feeling the full force of the galloping inflation that's affecting the whole country.
How you guys doing today?
In 5 years, prices have risen by 22%. Even some basic necessities are now out of reach.
Everything good? Hi, Mom. How you doing, honey? You guys have eggs over there, right? Okay, come on, I'll show you where the eggs are at. I don't know how much they are. How much are your eggs now? $9.99. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, so this is a dozen of eggs, and I'm gonna admit 2 years ago, this was probably $1.99. So they went up $8.
That's crazy.
For eggs. If I would go to McDonald's or another restaurant and get a breakfast sandwich, that same sandwich, it used to be $3, is probably $6 now. Hi, Hilda. I got a scratch off here to turn in.
Hilda, the grocery shop owner, remains convinced that the president has the right economic policy.
I think it'll get better. It's going to take a while, like I said, for the government to do what the past government has done, but I think it'll get better. The past government didn't think about the people.
Donald Trump thinks he's found the miracle solution to reverse the downward economic trend and reindustrialize America. He's launched a trade war against the whole world.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day, waiting for a long time. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by nations near and far.
On the 2nd of April this year, Donald Trump played the learned professor. Using his board as a prop, he announced prohibitive tariffs on all imports into the United States.
In other words, they charge us, we charge them.
The tariffs seem to be based on guesswork.
European Union, they're very tough. We're going to charge them 20%. Vietnam, we're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors, we're going to charge them 32%.
One country was hit especially hard. On the 10th of April, Trump announced 145% tariffs against China. This dramatic announcement rocked the world economy and weakened tens of thousands of businesses in the United States, particularly here in Los Angeles.
Hi guys, what's up? How are you?
Bobby Javeri runs a company which imports household appliances. This morning, he's received a long-awaited shipment from China.
Hey, Juan, can you open one of these? This is a 5-cup dry rice capacity rice cooker. This is for, let's say, 4 people in a household. Something like this costs maybe $50, $60.
Household appliances are piling up in his warehouse. Bobby Javeri has been forced to double his prices.
Here are waffle makers, pressure cookers. This is one of the best air fryers in America. Again, this is around $130, $140. It'd be way north of $300.
Just a few weeks ago, for a delivery like this, he would have paid $500 US in customs duties. But now he has to pay 40 times more.
This is a sort of like a bill to the government. The value of the goods is around 14,000 change. So 150-something% of 14,000 change gets you 21,000 change that you have to pay the government. China's not paying for this, right? The president has over and over again said, China's paying this bill. They're not. We are, and we're going to pass it on as much as possible to the consumer, right? This is what many Americans still have not understood, but they soon will, unfortunately.
Bobby Javeri is worried about the future of his successful business, founded 40 years ago by his father, Yedi, an Iranian who fled the mullah's regime.
ولی میدونی که در سوئیس کل دارن صحبت میکنن قرار شده جنس‌های ارزون رو گمرک نگیره.
That's our daily life today, talking about current events on the tariff issue.
Bobby and his father follow the news constantly, trying to keep up with their president's ever-changing tariffs.
So usually, well, now they have the Pope here, but usually it's always on.
We withdrew guidance because there's tremendous uncertainty in the future about actual costs, how much we would have to spend on tariffs.
Bobby is a lifelong Republican voter, but he has no real fondness for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a real estate man. He's a real estate mogul. He's a real estate genius. Whether you like him or don't like him, you can't deny that. But just because he knows real estate, it doesn't mean he knows business and commerce.
A few days after filming, Donald made yet another policy U-turn. Tariffs on goods imported from China have fallen back to 30%. Trump is obsessed with controlling the flow of goods into the USA. But it isn't only foreign goods that he wants to stop at the border. The president also aims to stop people from coming into the country.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
He's deploying colossal resources to fight illegal immigration from Mexico, announcing a $150 billion plan. The focus is on Southern California. The border with Mexico is now under heavy surveillance. Border police officers patrol here constantly. Their president has entrusted them with the mission of stopping all border crossings.
Affirmative. Bravo. 208.
Jose Enriquez has been serving here for 17 years and knows every corner of this desert.
Right now we're doing our best to be 100%. We always will do our best to make sure that anybody or anything that crosses illegally is apprehended or stopped by us.
Jose Enriquez and his team guard 54 kilometers of border along the wall erected by Donald Trump during his first term in office. It's an 8-meter-high steel barrier that sinks 2 meters into the ground, blocking off a whole section.
But this is the wall. Nice and hard. As you can see, I mean, it's a lot different when you see it from far away, when you look at it up close. When you look at it up close, it's pretty high. Now, another thing that's really important for us agents is the ability to be able to see through the fence.
Since his return to the presidency, Donald Trump has promised to finish building this wall. It currently stands at 1,000 kilometers, and he intends to extend it to cover the entire 3,000-kilometer border. This announcement appeals to Jose Enriquez, who is himself an immigrant.
And can I ask you like a personal question? Like you told me that your parents came from Mexico. Do you think?
Now, we want people to come here. We want immigration to come here. We want people to immigrate legally. I think the unknown is a threat. And here at the El Centro sector, the premier sector, what we don't know, we have to consider it as high as a threat until it is not as designated as not. Because we don't know who's coming across.
Donald Trump also wants to boost the Border Patrol's numbers by recruiting 3,000 people. Young agents like 19-year-old Mitzi Hernandez are joining the force. Mitzi is also Latina and is in the middle of her training.
When you're cutting, right, if you have a sign collide, you want to make sure that whichever way you're doing is that you have your son preferably behind you or the light behind you.
I've always been interested in it, and it's just pride. Pride, making my family proud. It's just protecting my country, makes me feel comfortable with myself, protecting my family, my neighbors.
Since the new policy was introduced, illegal crossings have fallen by 70% compared to 2024, according to Border Patrol figures. But the fight against immigration is not just being waged at the border. It's also being waged on the internet. Border Patrol agents are waging an aggressive social media campaign. In these chilling videos, they even co-opt the Star Wars universe, depicting themselves as Darth Vader. Migrants are demonized and associated with drugs, human traffickers, and cartels.
So that video was never meant to be a literal sense in the word that that's actually that we're, you know, the dark empire. And it was never meant, it's not a literal thing, it's a satire. And we want to reach as many people as possible to tell our story, to make sure that our narrative is going out there.
Il y a un discours qui n'est pas neuf.
Une histoire très ancrée dans ces discours très nationalistes et qui ont toujours vu les immigrants comme une menace.
The propaganda campaign even extends to the gardens of the White House. These photographs of migrants who have committed crimes serves as a backdrop for interviews with families of their victims.
My name is Chris Odette. I'm an angel father. My daughter Krisha was killed September 12, 2014 by an illegal alien in Rockwall, Texas.
Il va prendre des anecdotes terribles qui sont réelles de personnes tuées par des sans-papiers, par exemple, et il va en faire un récit qu'il va répéter tout le temps. Et à force de les répéter, on a l'impression que c'est la règle générale.
Donald Trump has set himself the goal of deporting the 13 million migrants living illegally in the country.
Il est allé jusqu'à proposer une somme pour celles et ceux qui veulent rentrer, pour les accompagner vers le départ.
We're also adding a very important exit bonus for illegals to further incentivize their self-deportation.
Those who refuse the $1,000 bonus are hunted down all over the United States by ICE, the Immigration Enforcement Agency. In his war against undocumented immigrants, the president even claims the authority to send them to any country, regardless of whether it's their own. In March, hundreds of Venezuelans were deported to a high-security prison in El Salvador. A wave of panic is now rippling through immigrant communities. It isn't only undocumented migrants in Donald Trump's sights. In his view, progressives have also corrupted America, and they are now under attack. Universities have been a particular target of this ideological crusade. Even the country's most prestigious universities, such as Columbia and Harvard, have seen their federal subsidies frozen. Donald Trump has criticized them for hosting pro-Palestinian demonstrations, some of which got out of hand.
President Trump has frozen or cut more than $2.7 billion in federal research grant money to Harvard University, accusing Harvard of fostering an unsafe, anti-American and anti-Semitic college environment.
Harvard, c'est vraiment l'emblème même de l'élite dans l'éducation américaine. Et donc s'attaquer à Harvard, c'était très important pour Donald Trump de les mettre au pas. Il y a une forme de ressentiment et de revanche par rapport à des universités qui, globalement, sont quand même plus à gauche.
Les universités sont la bête noire des conservateurs. Systématiquement, elles sont dénoncées comme étant des lieux où on apprend aux enfants à détester l'Amérique. Un message très fort qui est envoyé à son électorat. Vous n'aimez pas les universités, vous n'aimez pas ce qui s'y fait. Et bien moi, Donald Trump, je suis en train de faire le ménage.
Donald Trump has appointed one of his most loyal lieutenants to wage his war on higher education. Charlie Kirk is a political influencer known for traveling the country's campuses to spread the president's message.
God bless you. Thank you. Oh, I love California. Look at the energy. Look at the Patriots. Thank you.
Today, in the heart of California, he targets Long Beach University, which is known as a Democratic stronghold.
California, you have been so abused by Democrat politicians.
These political rallies take the form of debates.
We're going to maximize our time. It's an open mic. If you disagree, come to the front of the line and let's have some fun. First question. Let's do it.
A diverse group of students has gathered to debate all the issues that divide America, such as gender and transgender identities.
Hey Charlie, how's it going? So I wanted to speak to you about your take on gender.
Sure, so gender's a made-up concept. You can disguise yourself to look something you are not. I can wear blackface. Do I become black?
No, of course.
Oh.
Another hot topic is the ideological battle over universities.
I want to know your legal justification for defunding Harvard.
The crispest allegation against Harvard is the fact that they keep on penalizing white and Asian students that want to go to Harvard, right? They are in direct violation of accommodating Black and Hispanic students at the expense of white and Asian students, and they continue to push forward affirmative action. Thank you guys.
Charlie Kirk doesn't just take part in political debates. His organization, Turning Point USA, also compiles watch lists of teachers.
America's radical education system has taken a devastating toll on our children. The
Professor Watch List exposes the most radical left-wing college professors. The president of Long Beach University, Jane Connolly, actually authorized Charlie Kirk to hold a meeting on her campus. She is one of the thousands of college professors on the list.
Let's see what it says. The tag is racial ideology. In an op-ed from 2014, Connolly stated that if you are light-skinned, you have significant unearned privilege. And 14 said if you're
After her inclusion on the list, she suffered verbal harassment and even received death threats.
Yeah, that's trying to intimidate people, right? I don't approve of it, but I'm not scared of it. Putting my picture and name up, some people would find that very anxiety-provoking. I'm not willing to be afraid. Because I don't think I would give such a group the satisfaction. And now the level of trolling and cyber harassment and actually violent political action, well, that's astounding to me.
These political pressures and the removal of federal grants are having a disastrous impact on the world of research. On the East Coast, at Georgetown, one of the most renowned universities in the world, there are serious concerns among the scientific community.
So right now I'm just creating this hydrophobic barrier that will allow the media that I'm going to put on here to not fall off of the slide.
Megan is researching multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune disease that affects the nervous system. This field of study should be immune to political divisions.
Research is nonpartisan. Research, I think that's like one of the beauties of it and why I love scientific research so much is that, you know, scientists we go into it because we care about people and we care about health and we care about eradicating these diseases.
But to stay on the right side of Trump's policies, Megan is forced to censor herself. The National Science Foundation, which funds her research, has issued an internal memo. It encourages scientists to ban certain terms from their work.
So you can see disability, discrimination, equality, equity, ethnicity, gender diversity.
There are more than 300 words on this list. Using any of them could lead to the cancellation of federal funding for her research.
Trauma, underrepresented women and underrepresented victim, racism.
It's an absurd word search, and it puts Megan's research at risk.
Like women and female are on that list. You know, MS affects like women more than it affects men. I think like 6 times more so. Normally we would like talk about that in our grant, but I'm taking those things out of the grant that I'm writing right now just in case, because we're not sure. It could cause it to get flagged, it could not. We just don't know. I think I was just in shock when it first came out. I was like, there are so many problems with this. Did they consult any scientist at all?
The banned words all relate to fields of study that the president openly despises, such as climate, social sciences, or the fight against discrimination.
Now welcome to the stage of Donald J. Trump.
Because Donald Trump has declared himself the enemy of woke, the movement which takes a radical stance against discrimination targeting minorities.
We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit.
One of Donald Trump's discriminatory policies targets the 3,000 transgender soldiers who serve in the U.S. Army.
And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology out of our military. It's going to be gone.
Here in this affluent Washington suburb, Bree Fram has found herself in the crosshairs of the Trump administration.
Would you like mint tea?
I don't think we have any mint tea.
That's mint tea.
Bree is a 45-year-old aerospace engineer attached to the Space Force.
Yeah? How many planets are there, Liv?
I was about to say 9.
She's at the very core of the Army, serving as a senior officer in the Space Force.
Pluto, it's a dwarf planet.
Bree enlisted 24 years ago, before her transition. She became the first transgender woman to reach the rank of colonel. She speaks for herself and not on behalf of the Army.
This is the dress uniform of the Space Force. It has been my dream to be part of space exploration and for a long time. In the center are all the awards we have either won as individuals, some of which represent deployments overseas. My one deployment that is represented in a couple different places on here was to Iraq and Qatar as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2004.
In 2016, the Obama administration allowed transgender people to serve in the Army. Brian became Bree, a woman.
I had an email that was ready to go to my colleagues, and I had a Facebook post to come out to the world. And when I got back to my desk, one by one, the people that I worked with walked over to me, shook my hand, and said, "It's an honor to serve with you." So I was floored. I was near tears.
But on the 27th of January 2025, everything changed. Donald Trump signed a new executive order, which excluded all transgender soldiers from the Army. "3,000 transgender servicemen and women like Bree are at risk of being dismissed from their jobs. So they decided to band together. Tonight in Washington, Bree goes to a party organized by Sparta, a group that advocates for transgender servicemen and women.
I swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
And to bear true faith.
And to bear true faith.
So help me God. Amen.
Around 50 soldiers have gathered in this room. All of them are transgender. Jo Ellis, she's a pilot on Black Hawk combat helicopters. She began living openly as a woman 2 years ago.
It's a good aircraft, for sure, yeah. Just if I could have come in and picked anything, if I would have gone Air Force A-10s, if I could have picked anything, you know. Like,
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Jo was preparing for an overseas deployment. But Donald Trump's executive order has left her future hanging in the balance, much to the dismay of her colleagues.
They want to keep me because I'm supposed to be deploying in the next 12 months with them, and they need me for that mission, and they know I'm a competent aviator, and that's all that matters to them. You know, the aircraft doesn't care what gender you are. It just cares, can you fly it, and I can fly it.
These soldiers have gathered for a ceremony at which they'll be rewarded for their activism. Bree is the first transgender woman to be appointed colonel. She receives a medal for her commitment.
We will not surrender. It is truly incredible how much you fight despite the persecution, despite the bigotry, despite every statement out there that says you are undisciplined, you are dishonorable, and you are liars. Thanks, Sparta.
Thank you so much. Space Force person I've ever met.
It's an honor to receive the award, but tomorrow is back to work. Tomorrow is lace up the boots and accomplish the mission that we've been given, because that is our task. Until or unless we are unable to do it, we have a job to do, and this country is counting on us to do that job.
On May the 6th, the US Supreme Court upheld the legality of Donald Trump's executive order. Bree Fram has been placed on administrative leave pending her dismissal, along with the other 3,000 transgender soldiers in the Army. Although this measure has been validated by the American courts, more than a third of the 163 decrees signed by Donald Trump are now being challenged in the courts. The president is determined to win this battle at all costs, in his quest to change America.